Hey guys, we're going to tear into these brakes, get this master cylinder replaced, and then of course we're going to have to bleed all 4 brakes once that's done. But first we got to get the old master cylinder out. So what do you say we get down to that? I'm WhiteWall Steve. This is my Good Enough Garage Massey Coupe Part 4. It's not your average brake system on this car because there's no master cylinder in the engine bay. Since there's no master cylinder in the engine bay, it could only be one other place. It's underneath the car. If you look at the brake pedal actually goes through the floor rather than hang down. It comes down up underneath, and I don't know if you can see really good, but it's right here. So there's also a hole in the floor so that you can get to the bowls and everything and fill it. So what I got to do is get this master cylinder out of here, and then I don't think I'm going to have enough time to do the whole job today. So all I'm worried about is just getting the master cylinder out right now, and then maybe tomorrow I'll come back and get the new one bench bled and installed, and then we got to go around and bleed all the brakes. What do you say we go up top and see how we get to the bowl? So it looks like it's held down by these bolts here, this little sill. It's holding the carpet down, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like there's a plate here that's maybe bolted down underneath the carpet, and there's a hole there so you can get to that. So let's get these bolts out of here. Okay, this little sill will come up. So this comes up like this. Got a screw here, 2 screws here, and that'll pull. That'll get. It looks like this has not been off in a very, very long time, but that gets rid of that plate. Okay, we'll just kind of put that up underneath. And there you go. And that master cylinder looks like it's probably about as old as the car. So we're definitely going to change that out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this changed out. So let's hop to it. Okay guys, there's the old master cylinder, and boy howdy, that thing looks ancient. Now the new one, it's the exact same master cylinder, same setup, same everything, so it should just bolt right on. However, we got to get these fittings off of here so we can put the brake lines back to it the way it was. So we got to get these fittings off, put them on here, and then we're going to bench bleed this master cylinder, and then realistically we can get it installed. And of course it comes with the stuff to bench bleed it. So if you guys want to know how to bench bleed a master cylinder, there's a link down in the description to a video on when I bench bled the master cylinder for the S10. So I'm going to go ahead and get this done, and then I'll be right back and we'll have it all set, ready to go. And just like that, the new master cylinder's back installed in it, and we got all the lines in, everything's good. Now we're going to go around and bleed all the brakes around it. I'm pretty sure this thing's got drums in the rear and disc brakes in the front, so it's pretty simple. Start at the farthest from the master cylinder. So we're going to do the passenger rear first, then driver rear, then passenger front, then driver front. So we're going to get that done, but I do have one thing I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to use to bleed these brakes because I don't have anybody here to pump up a pedal. So I'm going to show you what I got. So here's what I got. I got this thing, I call it the suckulator. So basically you put your air hose on here, you hook this end to the brake fitting, and you're able to get all the air out of the system, theoretically. So hopefully we can do this, and I don't have to have somebody come over and pump the brakes. Let's get to it, get this done. Alright guys, so I had a little bit of camera malfunction and some computer malfunction, and I wasn't able to get stuff edited correctly, so this episode's a little wonky. But so far you saw that I got the master cylinder installed. So that's done. I went ahead and got all the brakes bled, so that's done. The rack and pinion, however, I wasn't able to get any footage of that. I had to keep the project rolling while I was dealing with computer glitches and camera glitches, but the rack and pinion's taken care of. I replaced that inner tie rod. Turns out the rack and pinion was actually off of an 81 Escort, so there's some food for thought if you were planning on doing a manual rack and pinion in your hot rod. 81 Escort works, so that's kind of neat. So I got that changed. Got it about as true as I could get it by eye. This thing's going to need a front end alignment. But we're on to some other things. I had my buddy Wayne come over, but I had him off camera come over and check out the carburetors. And while we were checking out the carburetors, we ran into some things that didn't look right, so we're going to get those fixed before we really start tinkering with the carburetors. This thing's only got like 5 pounds of pressure, fuel pressure. It needs to have about 6 or 7. So, with that being said, I asked Tom, when's the last time you had your fuel filter changed? It's been a long time, so we've probably got to change that fuel filter. We also checked the coil, and the coil's pretty weak, so that if you got a weak spark, it's not burning off the fuel good, may run rich because of that. And we're going to clean the spark plugs, and we're also going to change the air cleaners, because let me tell you what, these air cleaners were pretty trashed. I mean, they've probably been on here for 20 years. Thanks to my friends over at Bolt-On Speed Shop in Southgate, we were able to get the air cleaners, the coil, and the element inside the fuel filter. So we're going to get that changed right now. So let's crawl up under the car, see what we're dealing with. May have to drain it, and then we'll get the new element put in and check that out. So let's crawl up under there and see what's going on with that. I'm pretty sure the fuel filter is underneath the car. Not sure if we can see it on camera here, but alright, so it looks like it's right here, right in there. So what we're going to do is figure out, I think the front of it unscrews. So I'm going to get to it, figure out how that comes apart, and I'll be right back once I get that a little more apart and I can see what's going on with it. Okay, so we got this thing on the bench. I actually had to take it out of the car because I'm pretty sure you got to undo this bolt here in order to get this off. This is a Fram. This thing looks pretty damn old. So let's see if we can get it apart. So let's undo this bolt here. Probably going to make a little bit of a mess, but can't wait to see what this thing looks like after we pull it apart. A little bit of fuel in there. Don't look too bad, but I'm willing to bet it's pretty old. So I'll be right back. I think I left the new one in the car, so I'll go get that right now. Be right back. Okay, so here's the new one. This comes with a new gasket, all new gaskets, a new spring, pretty much new everything. Everything we're gonna need. Slide that bad boy down back in there. And we'll get our bolt back. Nice and tight, nice and snugged up. Okay. So, once I get this put back in the car, next thing we'll want to do, we're going to get the coil changed and the air cleaners, but I got to wait for the coil to come in. I'll be back once the coil is in, so see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back, and we got some more parts from Bolt-On Speed Shop in Southgate. And I'm right here in this bag. We picked up a couple of new air filters. So we got those. Those are all set. And we also picked up an Excel coil. So I'm going to go ahead and get this installed in the car. First thing we want to do, get that battery unhooked, and then unhook all the terminal leads, and then get the old one out, put the new one in. Pretty straightforward. And then we'll fire this thing up. I'll run up to the store, get some gas, put it in it, and check our fuel pressure and get the fuel pressure up where it needs to be. And with the power of movie magic, the new coil's installed. I got the old one out. I mean, this thing looks pretty damn old. So what do you say, check and see if this thing starts? I don't know how much gas is in it, so let's see if it starts. Not even gonna do anything. Let's just see. Alright. So it is definitely starting a lot better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my trusty gas can with this stupid funnel thing, get some gas, put it in this thing, and see what our fuel pressure is and see if we can get that fuel pressure dialed in. So off to the gas station I go. Alright, got a couple of gallons of gas in it, got that fuel pressure regulator dialed in, so now we're right between 6 and 7 pounds of fuel pressure, and that's right where we want to be on these carburetors. So come on in, show you the fuel pressure we got, and that'll probably be it for this episode. So check this out. Get on the key, bump the key, fires right up real nicely. Get on that. 6 pounds of fuel pressure. Good throttle response. She sounds good. So now we're good to get these carburetors dialed in. Okay, so the fuel system's dialed in. We got new fuel filter, new coil. I mean, it's got good response on the trigger now. We're gonna get these carburetors tuned in, and then hopefully we'll be able to take this thing for a ride. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Oh, and be sure to check out Grundy Insurance, Cruising Classics Agency, if you want Grundy Insurance for your specialty vehicle, hot rod, classic car, whatever. If you take pride in it, get Grundy Insurance for that. You can call Velma or April right here at this number, and they'll help you get Grundy Insurance. So that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in to WhiteWall Steve's Good Enough Garage. Good enough for tonight.